pleasant day to you, Miss Aname Angana. Our group will going to discuss the chapter 4, which is the territory and time management. So, just a short intro to our topic. Um, Territory is when we hear the word territory, it is a place or a particular area. So in sales management, territory is the geographical area particularly given or assigned to a specific salesperson. So when we say also time management, the first thing that comes to our mind is it is how we manage our time in doing things or tasks daily. So in sales management, time management means how the salesperson manage its time in doing sales, whether he or she doing good or not, because the time management of a salesperson will directly affect the business or the organization. Also in this chapter, territorial structure is also tackled. Most organizations, or even if not all organizations, have a large total number of market. It can't be managed efficiently without the territorial structure. For instance, the country of Africa, it consists 9 provinces, so this is too large. This is a very big country. So the sales manager there has to divide the whole country into several workable but profitable areas.
It's my continuation. Our report, chapter 4, is all about improving sales productivity. Time and territory management strategies help the sales manager to control the selling process by checking which customers are called on, when, and how. Regularly control of travel aspect of the selling process is necessary because rising fuel prices have the effect of constantly increasing selling expenses. So, time and territory management is very important of business because time and territory is best defined as getting the most of sales day by planning the most efficient use of scarce resources. So for example, each year of our team is hired by the companies and sales organization to each sales professionals how to better manage their time and territories.
Next, establishing sales territories. The elements that determine a territory in sales management are
the current potential customers, geography, competitors, activities, interest groups, and the general economic situation of the area. Sales territories are used by sales managers as a tool to facilitate the planning and control of selling activities in a given area.
Under the establishing sales territories are reasons for establishing sales territories, which includes achieve the company's sales and marketing objectives, strengthen customer relations, ensure better market coverage, reduce selling costs, build a more effective sales force, evaluate performance more accurately, and coordinate selling with other marketing functions.
Reasons for establishing sales territories. First is to achieve the company's sales and marketing objectives. The task of the sales manager is to manage the sale of the products and services within a defined geographic area, province, or country. The sales manager must ensure consistent, profitable growth in sales revenues through planning, deployment, and management of salespeople. The sales manager must identify objectives, strategies, and action plans to improve short and long-term sales and incomes that lead to better profitability. The second is strengthen customer relations. The sales manager establishes territories to enable salespeople to strengthen customer relationships. Manageable territories enable the salesperson to spend more time with customers that buy on a regular basis without neglecting regular customers. By paying a customer more visits the salesperson learns more about the customer, which improves the relation so that it evolves into a partnership. Assigning a single salesperson to the responsibilities to service a territory helps to make sure that all customers and prospects receive satisfactory servicing. The third is ensure better market coverage. It is important to remember that a market is made up of people, not places, and that a sales territory is a segment of the market. Sales territories are compared on the basis of their potential or size, and therefore territory assignments constrain salespeople to working with less profitable customers or prospects as well as the most desirable accounts. If territories slip out of balance, salespeople may be given too much or too little work, which can lead to over-servicing of customers. The sales territory should be a manageable size to avoid the salesperson having to spend a great deal of time on traveling, resulting in reduced time to visit customers. The sales territory should be of a size that represents a reasonable workload to cover the current customers in the market, as well as to visit all potential customers. The fourth is reduce selling costs. To reduce selling costs, the sales manager assigns responsibility for a special territory to a single salesperson, ensuring that there is no overlap in coverage and customers and prospects are called upon by only one salesperson. The fifth is build a more effective sales force. The sales manager must help the sales force to become more effective by doing some things differently because the marketplace has changed and is continuing to change rapidly. Well-designed sales territories motivate salespeople, improve their morale, increase their interest, and build a more effective sales force. When the sales manager assigns a specific sales territory with clearly defined responsibilities and specific accounts to a person, the salesperson must take ownership of the allocated sales territory. The sales manager must see to it that the sales territories are even distributed between the salespeople with clearly allocated accounts within the allocated sales territory to avoid conflict about which accounts belong to whom. The sixth is evaluate performance more accurately. When the sales manager assigns salespeople to territories within a specific geographical area with a relatively equal workload and potential turnover, the salespeople performance can be compared on an equal basis. If the sales territories are unequal in a known way, then adjustment can be made in evaluating unequal performance. The evaluation of each individual territory enables the sales manager to spot changes in the market conditions that they can rectify. The next is coordinate selling with other marketing functions. The marketing function and the sales function are not the same because their areas of responsibility and expertise differ. Therefore, they must be complementary and operate in such a way that the customer are efficiently and effectively acquired, developed, serviced, and retained. Well-designed sales territories allow management to better perform other marketing functions. Research and development staff benefit the greatest from research data in selected territories. Data obtained from the specific territories is used in the development and launching of new products. Furthermore, the specific territories are used by research staff to test markets for new products and assist in, for example, determining costs. The sales and cost analysis is easier to execute by territory than in the entire market. Territories make it easier for setting sales, quotas, and budgets. Salespeople can assess the marketing function in the launching of integrated marketing communication programs by performing work that relates to the sales promotions, such as putting up point-of-sale displays.
Reason for not having sales territories. It is not possible to form sales territories where social relationship or personal friendship are often the basis of sales, especially in field of financial services. 8 major resources for not establishing sales territories. First, small business. A small business is not in position or derogate territorial lines. Second, social or personal relationship. It is not possible to form sales territories where social relationship or personal friendship. Third, highly technology selling. In highly technology selling, there are often a very limited number of potential customers nationwide that require highly specialized advice. Fourth, limited number of specialist salesmen when the specialist salesmen are limited in number, and information territorial boundaries would be foolhardy. 5. Local business. When a firm has a local business, the information of sales territories is not possible. 6. Lack of resources. Separate sales territories require huge financial resources. 7. Dealings in fixed assets. When a firm deals in the business of fixed assets, such as lands, houses, it has no use to form sales territories. 8. Work freedom. When salesperson want the freedom of work and contacts, or when do not want to the linkage when any particular territory.
The next is CRM and sales territory. From a customer relationship management or CRM perspective, the sales manager assigns territories based on customer characteristics rather than on geography. CRM and sales territory. CRM means customer relationship management. From a customer relationship management or CRM perspective, the sales manager assigns territories based on customer characteristics rather than on geography. In principle, a salesperson territory boundaries are exclusively defined by geography, but some of high potential territories will be shared by two salespeople in the same team but do not completely overlap. The sales manager must be considered the trust that exists between the customer and the salesperson because it is an important aspect to consider when allocating territories with customer relationship management. The frequency of calls made is another important factor of considered with CRM when assigning the sales territory.
So let's continue to designing sales territories. The structure of a sales organization determines the number of sales people appointed to call on customers in the design territories, and how the salespeople will deal with the purchasers' strengths and weaknesses and buyer base.
Designing sales territories. The structure of a sales organization determines the number of salespeople appointed to call on customers in the design territories, and how the salespeople will deal the purchasers' strengths, weaknesses, and buyer base. The way the sales manager organizes their sales force must describe the type of customer the salespeople will call on, the assortment of products they sell, and the daily sales activities they must engage in. Most importantly, the sales manager must ensure that the sales force is organized in such a way that they can best respond to consumers' needs and problems. The sales manager starts to design the territories once the workload is analyzed and the number of salespeople required is established. The sales manager must keep the goals in mind, because goals are set on a corporate level and are integrated and implemented in all the different functions. The sales managers are responsible for organizing the sales force in such a manner that the goals are accomplished through a sales force operates effectively. The sales manager must guard against developing the sales structures around themselves and the sales people instead of reply to the sales activities. Next, the steps in territories design is as illustrated in figure 4.2 will be discussed. So designing sales territories, it is a geographical area including the customer group or groups that is assigned to a particular salesperson or the sales team. A well-planned territorial design, for example, helps in matching the selling efforts with the sales opportunities in that market.
Under the designing sales territories are the steps in territory design. There are 5 steps in territory design. The first step is select a geographic control unit as a territorial base. Second is estimate market potential in each control unit. Third, combine control units into tentative territories. Next is perform workload analysis. And the last step is revise and adjust tentative territories to allow for sales potential and coverage difficulty differences.
The first step in designing a territory is to select a geographic control unit as a territorial base. A general rule in selecting a geographic control base is to select small geographic units because in larger geographic units, areas with low potential may be included among those with high potential and the other way around. Sales manager usually uses several trading areas, metropolitan areas and provinces, or a combination of them as territorial units. This is also referred to as political units. Small unit supports the geographical pinpointing of the potential unit. It makes easy for the sales manager to adjust the territory if necessary. Trading areas can also be used as a control unit. Second step is estimate market potential in each control unit. The sales manager must determine the market potential of both prospective and current customers in each selected geographic control unit. Prospective customers can be identified by salespeople, trade directories, mailing lists, and trade associations. Once the customers are identified, the sales manager should access the potential of each prospective client. The sales manager can use either qualitative or quantitative sales forecast methods, or combination of the two to determine the market potential. Qualitative sales forecast methods include executive opinion, the Delphi method, sales force composite, surveys of buyers' intention, and test marketing. Quantitative sales forecast methods include moving average, exponential smoothing, decomposition, ratio method, regression analysis, and econometric analysis. To estimate the market potential in each control unit, data must be available from secondary research for each variable. The next step is combine control units into tentative territories. Once the market potential of the selected control units has been determined, the sales manager must combine them into tentative territories. The sales manager must strive to ensure the utmost degree of fairness by making all territories equal with respect to the potential sales volume and the sales people's input to service the territory. Equality of territories will make it easier for the sales manager to evaluate salespeople's performance and to compare salespeople. The equal workload reduces disputes between salespeople and the sales manager and improves the morale of their sales force to perform better.
And the next step is perform workload analysis. Perform workload analysis. The sales The sales manager must estimate the time and effort required by a salesperson to cover the geographical control unit. The estimate is an analysis of the number of accounts the salesperson must call on, how frequently the salesperson must call, the travel time needed to cover the geographical unit, and the non-selling time required. There are two methods in workload analysis. First is build-up method. This method is mostly used by organizations that sell consumer products and services and consists of customer analysis and a study of the salesperson workload capacity. The sales manager must calculate the workload. And the second method is breakdown method. This method is often used by organizations that sell industrial products or that need intensive distribution for their products and services, and we call that organizational sales potential. The sales potential is calculated by using the three general sales forecast methods, and we call that mathematical methods and operational methods and survey methods. So in short, workload analysis is a process of designing an effective data mart. Workload analysis gather information about your warehousing queries as you run them, known as a query probing, and analysis the resulting data to determine which queries are good candidates for acceleration. And also workloads and step 5 is revise and adjust tentative territories to allow the sales potential coverage difficulty differences. Once the workload is calculated by using either the build-up or breakdown method, the sales manager must set the boundaries of territories. The sales manager first set tentative boundaries and then revises the boundaries once the total territory is planned to ensure equal workloads. And so there are there are many reasons why territory must be revised. And the example of that is territory are not designed accurately. And second one is the workload is overestimated or underestimated. So what is sales territory? Traditionally, a sales territory refers to a geographical area to assign individual salesperson or team. However, a more modern definition encompasses sales territories created around certain types of customers and audience segments. For example, other characteristics that be used to define as a sales territory include sales potential, industry, product, customer type, purchase history, and referral source. And step 6 is assign sales people to territories. There are many ways to assign sales people to accounts in sales territories. The sales manager is consultation with their managers. Usually assign salespeople to the new territories. Not only should the geographical aspect be considered, but also that each salesperson need a background are matched with opportunities in the new or revised sales territory. In short, a salesperson are assigned territories by sales manager depending on the basis of sales. The geographical areas with high sales are assigned to the sales person with experience who can handle the workload. The new or less effective salespeople are assigned the area with less sales potential.
Next is the self-management. Self-management can be defined as a process whereby individuals manage their own behavior by laying down personal standards, evaluating their own performance on terms of those standards, and self-administering values based on their self-evaluations. Self-management is an important aspect of selling as a job, because many salespeople work without supervisions of most of the times.
The use of technology enables salespeople to cover their territories without regular calling at the office. In such situations, self-management becomes very important. This requires that they continuously evaluate their physical and personal qualities, accountability, attitude, and image, working smarter to improve selling effectiveness. These are the qualities under in self-management. The first is daily planning. The sales managers must see to it that salespeople understand what self-management is and that the salespeople apply self-management principles and techniques correctly. Most salespeople set their own daily agenda and must decide themselves what, when, and how to perform their sales task. The second is the use of technology. To execute such hands-on strategies successfully, the salesperson should make use of the latest technology as selling tools. Information and communication technology enables salespeople to work from anywhere as long as they have access to a computer or tablet, the internet, and a cell phone. The third is the achieving personal goals. Self-management involves setting goals, properly utilizing resources such as time, and making the most of their clients and their abilities. Self-management requires self-discipline and determination from the salesperson, which begins with a passion that drives them toward achieving goals.
I am Lisa Ipanto and my topic is all about self-management. To continue the report of self-management, here are some changes how consumer buy and salespeople must adapt that they should develop mindset regarding the time management to get things done faster. Here are the use of sales technology.
I'm Michelle Camarines. This is my report time management routine. Once sales managers have finalized territories and allocated salespeople to the territories, they must pay attention to the time factor. Traveling between customers can be unnecessary, time consuming if the salesperson scheduling and routine the traveling pattern for calling on customers are not well planned. The sales manager must be convinced that the salesperson's scheduling and routine for territory will maximize productivity and contribute to keeping and routine tasks of the sales managers. Effective time management contributes to substantial productivity gains. The more time a salesperson spends selling, the more the salesperson contributes to profitability. Time is a limited supply, and once lost can be reclaimed. The salespersons must utilize the available time efficiently and avoid spending a great deal of time hanging. Sales management, administrative tasks, waiting travel, service calls, prospecting with customers. Figure 4.3 How sales spend their time. Appointment can be confirmed while traveling by using cell phones and other available technology. Figure 4.3 show how salespeople spend their time, and it's noticeable that they spend less than 50% on selling activities. It is clear from figure 4.3 that they spend about 33% of their time on sales-related activities and about 67% on other activities. That statistic alone emphasizes the importance of management.
Managing a salesperson time. The sales force and the market consist of people with different cultural backgrounds. The sales manager must bear in mind that observation of time varies by culture, and this cultural component can influence the time it takes to form relationship with customers.
Managing a salesperson time. Some customers can take longer than others to make a purchasing decision, which implies that the salesperson may have to make additional calls. Other considerations regarding time allocation are which account to call on, how to divide time between selling and non-selling activities, how to allocate time to normal calls, potential customers, and service calls, and how much time to spend with difficult customers or new prospects. The sales manager must work with a salesperson to develop an effective time management procedure to avoid time traps and time wasters. Traps are those actions performed by a salesperson that influence efficiency and erode effectiveness. As a salesperson, you must know how to deal with your customers, and building relationships with them is very important. Managing a salesperson time is very important in business because it makes the business flow smooth. Every salesperson makes their time gold and has a value.
Other consideration regarding time allocation are which account to call on, how to divide time between selling and non-selling activities, how to allocate time to normal calls, potential customers, and service calls, and how much time to spend with difficult customers or new prospects. Avoid time traps. Time traps are those actions performed by a salesperson that influence efficiency and erode effectiveness. These actions, to mention just a few, include calling an unqualified or unprofitable prospect, ending the work day early, and spending too long on lunch and tea break. Time waster. Many salespeople do not control time wasters, such as this list below, which should be avoided. Telephone interruption, drop-in visitors, lack of priorities, objective and deadlines, attempting too much at a time, lack of self-confidence, a lack of self-discipline, leaving tasks unfinished.
Next is routing and its disadvantages and advantages.
Let's discuss about routing and its disadvantages and advantages. So what is routing? Routing is a travel plan that a salesperson follows when working in a territory. Routing and visiting patterns assist salespeople to limit traveling time and distance. Routing depends on the nature of the product and the nature of the job, and is necessary if the product requires more regular calls and frequent servicing, and when the job is routine. Visiting patterns are planning tools that sales managers use to establish how regularly and with what intervals the salesperson must call on customers. So what is the purpose of routing? The purpose of routing is to ensure that the sales territory is covered and that travel time and distances are minimized. So now let's discuss the advantages of routing. First, reduced travel time and lower selling cost. This means that studies have shown that the salespeople spend about 1/3 of their time, and a proper routing reduces the traveling time within a territory, resulting in the reduction of costs and more time available to spend with customers. Second advantages of routing is better territory coverage.
A route plan provides more detail about the number and location of customers in a territory. Lastly, improved communication. A well-designed route plan improves communication and helps the sales manager to monitor salespeople and enables to giving a last-minute information and instructions if necessary. So now, let's move on to the disadvantages of routing. The disadvantages of routing is that it reduces salespeople's initiative because it is an inflexible and formalized plan that a salesperson cannot change or adapt to changing market conditions or spend more time with a prospect to close a sale.
Hi, my name is Angelica Alpara. This is my report, Time Management for Sales Manager. As with salespeople, for the sales manager also needs to manage their time. The sales managers must identify the tasks, prioritize them, and locate them to each other. Thank you.
To sum up all the topics that they mentioned regarding territory and time management.
Time and territory management helps sales managers to control sales costs and to be more effective and efficient in serving customers. The reason for establishing territories are to ensure effective market coverage, build and strengthen customer relations, reduce selling costs, build a better sales force, evaluate sales force productivity, and coordinate selling with the other marketing functions. The sales manager has to follow certain procedures to set up sales territories by first selecting a geographic control unit and then conducting an account analysis. Next, the sales manager plans the borders and combines the geographic control units into sales territories. And lastly, the sales manager assigns salespeople to the territories. Because of changing and market conditions or the overall underestimation of sales potential, the territories are often revised. Self-management is important aspect as selling as a job because many salespeople work without supervision for much of the time. The use of technology enables salespeople to cover their territories without regular calling at the office. ICT enables salespeople to work from anywhere as long as they have access to computers, tablets, the internet, and cell phones. Self-management requires discipline from the salesperson, which in turn requires determination that begins with the creation of passion driving the salesperson toward achieving goals. The sales manager must work with the salesperson to develop an effective time management procedure to avoid time traps and time wasters. Time management and routing go hand in hand. Routing is the process of establishing a travel pattern for the salesperson to use when calling on customers. A sales route is the travel pattern that a salesperson follows while working in a territory. The purpose of routing is to ensure that the sales territory is covered and the travel time and distance are minimized. Routing reduces travel time and minimizes selling costs, provides better territory coverage, and improved communication. Sales managers are normally responsible for the design and update of sales territories and routes.